Hello, YouTube. My name is Plazukas. The vindication is rolling in. All of the hate, negativity, all the deniers, the ignorance come in full circle. I had not watched one single Mtashed video since he covered Wither and Waves, and I did that on purpose. And after making the truth video on Tectone, which I feel very happy about, and also had Tectone respond to it, he replied to my video. I don't know if he's gonna do a video about it later, but if he does, I'll be around most likely. I decided to go and pay a visit to some other streamers that have been covering Wither and Waves as well, just to see what's going on. And I stumbled into Mtashed video, and let me just say this off the rip before I begin this video. I had asked him because he was gonna poll, and he had a bunch of gems. I asked him if this was a sponsored video. He said yes, it was. And when we get into this, you're going to see the ad at the bottom. I am not sure if that's all they have to do. Now, I will give a benefit of the doubt. Apparently, Mtashed just moved into a new house, so obviously, this is his job. And, he's probably thinking about a lot of things. So maybe he didn't want to publicly disclose that this was a sponsored stream, but it is. And what I find very ironic is that all the talking points that I've had for the past week, and I have not watched any of the Mtash content, I've talked about content creators who are free to play, that this is their job, and content creators who poll and get sponsored. Wouldn't you believe that Mtash basically has done both? Tectone may be guilty of one grievance of mine. Mtashed is guilty of two. And now, listen, I do give the benefit of the doubt. I'm not sure. And I have not looked at any of his previous streams to see how much he says he's sponsored by this, right? But I think there's a very good chance that he could have gone through this whole thing, just had the hashtag ad at the end, and that would have been good enough for him for disclosure laws or Twitch's policies. It took me in chat, and we'll get to that. By the time we get to that, that's probably when we'll stop the video, and then we'll figure that out. For him to actually acknowledge that, because I've watched it from this point on to the point that we're going to get to. I mean, I understand. Like, at least Mtash acknowledges, and he does acknowledge this is his job, right? He's not making any kind of mystery about this being a game he loves. He says he loves games. He says he does that free to play. He says he does this and that. Listen, I can't speak to his intentionality. I can't speak to his heart. I can't speak to anything. So I have to take his word for it. Whatever he says, yeah, you have to take some word for it. I can obviously have my opinion and commentary, but overall, I can't speak to what he actually believes. So let's get into this video. My first from Mtashed. May not be my last.
As you can see, I might have spent some money.
Now, before this, a week leading up, well, he had access to it before the servers went live from Kuro Games. But he has spent a week marketing as a free-to-play god. He's grinded. He has done all the other things that Tectone has done, or all these other things that content creators have done, advertising as free-to-play god. And now he's finally saying that he's spent money in this game. He's double dipping. Okay? And I want people to support. I want content creators to support. But we're already going to get to the point where, this is a sponsored stream, which means he's getting reimbursed to some degree by Kuro Games. They may not be 100%. But at some level, he's assured some success.
I want to explain. Number one, I'm sick and tired of not being able to cover characters on my account. I hate it. It's really annoying. I don't want to do test runs for every character in Withering Waves, because there are so many hard bosses in the game and things like that. A test run is not going to do it. I can't get a feel for a character and if they're good and if their rotations feel good in a test run. You know what I mean?
I have no context as to what Mtashed was saying the past week or two when making all the guide videos and when having his Twitch streams about how effective the characters were, how much fun he was having, how free to play the game is. And now essentially admitting that it was lacking to some degree. And before I even go further, let me just say, gachas are designed to be lacking for free-to-play players. Their goal is to get you to spend money.
I need to go fight the hardest bosses and be like, yeah, no, they feel good. I need to fight the hardest bosses, and can I actually get their combos off? A good example.
And essentially he's saying, I need to have made videos about free-to-play ways to play this game, paid ways to play this game, every which way. All ways, every way. Now, one could applaud Mtashed for being a complete content creator and showing all cases of the game. I'm not going to give him that much credit because currently I'm not on or feeling that gracious. I'm feeling pretty upset. So I'm not going to give him that, but you could, I guess, technically. You could highlight that as a positive.
Example of that is Ling Yang. Ling Yang has all these fast attacks and these combos, and you can rotate through, and it's kind of cool. Good luck using it against a boss. You will never get his full rotation through, ever. It just won't happen, and I need to be able to test that. I want to be able to play everything. I want to be able to test everything against actual bosses, against the actual game. I want to be able to level up characters. I want to not have to care. And I'll tell you the other thing. I don't want to trade my life to get a character.
Okay. Now, I think he further, expands upon this, but people that play video games as their hobby, okay, or technically as a job, I guess in this case for Mtashed, understand that that's a sacrifice. You choose to play games over other things. That has not changed since I started playing games in the late 80s. And trust me, my family, my friends have noticed that throughout the years. They're like, Plazukas, why don't you come hang out with us? I can't because I'm playing Demon Souls at launch. I've just spent 16 hours playing Demon Souls. And then I had to work for 8 hours. That's how the time disparity worked with me. Is that right? Is that wrong? No, it's an addiction, obviously. Or it's me loving my hobby, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's a sacrifice. It shouldn't be talked about in a way that's like, like this, like that. No shit, Sherlock.
What I mean by that is I would rather spend the money and avoid a boring event that I don't like so that I can still play the characters and do it.
Right, and this is what Gacha affords you over other styles of games. True. You can essentially circumvent the time gates, the grind, to some extent. Obviously, Genshin, Honkai, Withering Waves gates that as well, but they also allow you to do it. And with characters and stuff like that, you can do that pretty... You can't do it... You could, the more you pull, the more resources you get. So technically, although the resources are limited in the shop, so there is still some gating to a certain point too. But it does speed it up.
It's summer. I want to go to the lake. I want to go to the beach with my family. I want to go to the visit family and all these things. And I don't want to be like, oh no, I didn't get my event done to get 480 gems.
Right, and you didn't want to be accosted by the community because you can't even keep up with your free-to-play account. You know, I mean, it's your job, first of all. And I don't promote playing these games free-to-play to begin with. So spending money, to me, is just normal. And you're making a big deal about it, for one. And for two, what I've already disclosed. Obviously, there's an ad on this, on the descriptions on the bar here, that I can showcase right now for full transparency. The ad is right there. Yeah, that's the ad. And then it pops up on the chat every now and then. That's the disclosure I think that is allowed by Twitch now. It used to be up here, I thought, paid promotion. I'm not sure if that's still required by law.
To allow me to do a pull to get the character a month from now. I don't want to have to log in every single day to get enough pulls to do the next character. I want to be able to cover the game properly. I want to be able to cover all.
So essentially, he's admitted to the fact that he couldn't cover the game properly previously, and I'm not sure. I haven't watched back at any of his previous streams to know if he was talking about how well the game is, or how well he's been covering it, or how positive he's been on the game. I'm pretty certain that he's been pretty positive, and he loves the game. This is like classic Mtashed. Spread positivity, especially in YouTube videos and stuff like that.
All the characters and the weapons for as long as the game is fun. I want to be able to enjoy the game, play the game, cover the game.
And I don't know what the definition of fun for someone like Mtashed is. I mean, new subscribers, if that dips down, if the money stops coming in for the contracts, does that equate to, fun? I'm just speculating. There is no facts here. I do not know Mtash's definition of fun.
Game, and if a month from now we're going and we're playing Zenless Zone Zero and it ends up being fun,
listen, go to the Great Migration video. He's giving you a hint. If he's not listen, for legality's sake, the if in his statement, I will obviously highlight, yes, there's a chance that he doesn't go to Zenless Zone Zero.
like I'm not married to any game.
That is absolutely true. I mean, obviously you're married to your family, which is great. Good for you. And nobody needs to know that. But you want to know about my personal life? No. Exactly.
I want to have a good time while I am in the game. That being said, spending money in a game causes me to disenfranchise with my account.
Okay, so I'm not going to take these statements out of context to some degree. Obviously, I don't think he means like spending for Destiny 2, which is a game he used to cover, or like Elden Ring. I don't think he means that if he spends on any game and it's not given to him by the company or the publisher, that he then thinks that it's not even, that he's cheating or whatever else. I know that he's specifically saying it for Gacha in this context, so that's what we'll leave it at. I don't know why someone would want to play Gacha then. Just get out of this genre. Do something else, Mtashed. You don't have to be here. You might have had to be here for one point in time in your career because it gave you that much popularity or attention, because these games can tend to do that, but you don't have to now. You just sign a contract with Asmongold. You're doing good. Asmongold's got a lot of money. He's doing good. You're in the circle. The circle of trust. I don't know if that's what they call it, okay? But you're in the circle. You can do other things now. Your popularity is not tied to the game. And if you have a problem with this, just leave. Now, if you look at the website for the Asmongold business, Mtashed is specifically hired, it looks like, to cover these kind of games. So maybe he's obligated at this point.
Because I now feel like I have cheated. I now have cheated myself. I have cheated the game. I did not earn my characters from this moment forward. The upgrades that I've gotten do not count anymore. I don't feel satisfied. So I most likely will make a free-to-play God account.
So now he's going back to the fact that he'll make another free-to-play God account. And this goes back to all the other content creators, and this is something I've never highlighted, or I haven't in the past week. A lot of content creators, once they actually max out these characters and the content that they can do, because they spend 16 hours a day farming views and farming subscribers every day because they're salespeople. They will then redo their accounts or restart another account, and they'll do like if you're new to the game, early progression, new start videos, right? And that's how they refresh their stuff. And I can't say that that's not fun for them. I don't know if it's fun for them. I mean, rerolling in games, I've also played other accounts sometimes after I've gotten to a nice point with a previous account. Nothing for content or anything like that. And I usually spend on both accounts regardless. And I've had fun. So there is a possibility that you can just have fun doing that over and over again. But it's obviously there to try to bring in new people. At the end of the day, it's a sale. It's just all about sales, man. All about bringing new people, selling yourself, selling your brand.
Because I like the feeling of free-to-play God. I like the feeling of limiting my resources. And
there's definitely a good way to do this. You can play every other game that's not a gacha that doesn't allow for you to spend money to progress. Elden Ring's coming up with a new expansion. Everybody else is streaming it. You could probably do pretty good in that category. Maybe you don't get as many viewers, but you'll get enough. You'll get 1,000 or so. Your loyal fans will come next to you because we've already talked about cult mentality. Zelda, I'm sure there's plenty of other games you haven't played since you've been playing live service games for a while now. There's many games. There's many single-player games that would definitely allow you to do that. I'm not suggesting that you should or that's. I'm just giving you other options here, Mtashed. Very simple. You don't have to free-to-play God on gachas, okay? That is not a good enough excuse to why you're playing free-to-play, because I don't believe any content creator who makes a living on YouTube or Twitch should be playing free-to-play. They should be spending money. Battle Pass, the 99-cent deal, whatever it is, you should be spending some form of money. And the whole free-to-play moniker is an absolute scam.
there's a very unique situation right now where if I was to re-roll, I would be able to pull on either banner. And hypothetically, if I was to do some re-rolls, I would be able to get Yin Lin and her weapon, or Yin Lin and Jian, or something like there is some potential to have a really cool account as a free-to-play. Or we completely skip Jian because we've already got him on our account and we only get Yin Lin, or we skip both of these units on free-to-play God and we get a future unit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm very much enjoying the game, but 100% I have gotten to the point already, unfortunately, where I don't really have much to explore. There's some little things here. I just need to go get a viewpoint in this area, I think, and I will pretty much have maxed out exploration. I'm getting to the point where there's little things that I can do, but other than farming echoes, I don't have a ton to do. So I can already, I could pilot another account and have some fun with it. But at the end of the day, I also don't want to burn out. So it's like, I like the idea of free to play God. I want to do free to play God. It's a good time, but I don't want to burn out and I don't want to be bored. But if I'm having fun, I don't burn out.
Right, and I think this part of it may leave him open. I think partly why he's saying it, obviously, is to appeal to people that have watched him for the free to play side. Now, at this point, if you're watching Mtashed, um, Mtashed can flip a script on a game within a couple hours, so you can go from one game to another within seconds. Uh, But if he's leaving it open for later, just in case this game gets really popular, he may want to leave it open to his viewers that he could go back to something at some point in time. And he may not even have any intentions of going back to it anytime soon. We have Honkai Star Rail, we have Genshin Impact, we have Zenless Zone Zero, and whatever else is coming out, and whatever other marketing deals he has on the table, which I'm sure there is. I know the new MMO Pack Die, something like that. I don't know the name of it. That's coming out in the 10 days, I think. He may have something, but that's kind of like microtransaction or kind of live servicey. So maybe that's part of his obligations.
I burn out 2 years into a game when I'm really, really bored. Like, how many accounts did I make in Genshin Impact? 5? 4? We had the main account, did all the exploration, all the Geoculus. We had free to play God, all the exploration, all the Geoculus. We had Free Willy, which is a 4-star only, all the exploration, all the Animoculus, all the Geoculus, like, got to AR 50 almost. Like, we're only in the first month of this game. I blasted through this. I had a really good time. If I was to make one more account, I don't think I would burn out because it still is fresh and I would just do things differently. I would build different characters. I would play the game different. So I think that would be fun. And you have to remember that this is my job. It would give me some content.
And this is a very good thing, which I will give credit for. If you want to talk about a bit of positivity, at least admits that it's his job. That this is not just some hobby, that he has passion for games, and that's the only reason why he's doing it. At least there is that declarative statement. So, that's a thumbs up.
Content. So I'm in this weird position where, you know, I want to play the game for me. And that's why I was free to play for the first couple months, or first couple weeks, I should say. Because that is for me. That's me enjoying the game and playing it and beating all the stuff as best I can. I wanted to take these on free to play and see how far I could get and see which ones I could beat and which ones I could get to difficulty 5 and all these different things. That's for me. But as the content creator, that is this. That is the wailing. Because without this, I can't cover every character effectively. I can't test out the echoes on the characters. With the weapon, without the weapon. How do they...
Okay, so this part of it where he's in that, listen, I can't speak to intentionality, I can't speak to motives, right? He said it was for me. And that's fine, and it may have been for him. As far as him being a video gamer, I guess if I want to give him that. But it's misleading. How many people, listen, I know Mtashed from previous coverages of different games. Once he's in this free-to-play God mode, the majority of the time, he will be hyping this up. And in that time, he's going to bring in new viewers. He's going to bring in people that are going to pay for this game, that are going to do it from a misleading perspective. Happens every single time. And this tactic here, switching, is another tactic. It's a multi-layered strategy. Very effective. Intentional or not. Coincidental, I don't know. I can't speak to the motives. I can just talk about my experience and opinions based on everything I know about gachas, games, and in some cases, Mtashed, although not a lot, but enough.
Perform. I can't do it. And I rely on the other theory crafting people and what they think. And I hate that. I want to be able to give you my opinion.
This is what they also do, the content creators who choose to go free to play. they get access to other people's accounts. The ones that do whale out, they are able to get all this data from other people that will help them out. They have a library of stuff that they can rely on while being free to play as well. And so they don't have any short in supply to make these videos that are there for, like, you know, the higher spenders or people who want more complex guides, right? So they have that available to them as well, even while they're playing free to play. And so, like I said, this is a multi-layered scheme here that goes on with content creators in video games. Now, we've already established that this upcoming poll, whether it is sponsored or not, this stream is sponsored. Period.
Opinion. In every other video game, like Destiny, The Division, Monster Hunter World, I saw a weapon, I saw an armor piece, I went out and got it, and I went out and tested it, and there was no limiting factor. But in a gacha game, there is a limiting factor, and that is pulls. I had one pull available. I had one pull for Yin Lin. Did I pull like an idiot? Yes, but eventually I would have run out of pulls. And you know, that's the tough thing with these games is all the characters that I want to test and give you advice on, I can't do that. Unless I spend money. Again, if I spend money, it does kind of taint the account for me. I lose some of my personal connection to it. And so that's why, you know, I would like to make a new free-to-play account for me to cover. And for me to have fun with, but I don't know.
I'm going to bring back the chat now because I believe this is when I come into it. It's going to be close to this, so I'm going to let everyone see up until this point. And I've scrubbed this entire video since he went live. There was no announcement of any promotions or that this was sponsored by anything at this point in time. Okay, I'm not there yet, so I might be coming in here soon. It could be
I'm in this
few
weird
more
spot
minutes.
where it's like I also don't want to let you guys down and not be able to make guides on everyone, so it's a weird dance with me and the way my brain works. So for right now, we are going to pull on Yin Lin. We're going to get her weapon. I don't want to wail out and get like 6 copies of her. I just want...
Okay, this is the first time I did it 2 times. This is the first time I replied to Mtashed right here. And I said, if you do free to play, because I didn't know he did free to play before this. I didn't know he was covering free to play. I didn't know that's how he started. But I told him that if he does any free to play stuff, that I would cover it. Obviously, I'm going to cover it in the way that Tectone covers it. But now it's a little bit different because he's already going to spend money, even though it's sponsored. He's getting it reimbursed to some extent. Okay, maybe not 100%. Okay, Tectone, maybe not 100%.
I want like 1 copy. I want 1 copy of her weapon. I want to test her out. I want to build her up. And then we save for the next characters. And that's the game plan. I don't want to get maxed out all the constellations because I know no one else is doing that. I just kind of want 1 copy of everybody and their weapon, and we call it a day. So, that's where we're going. That's what we're doing. Let's start to Gamba. Okay, fair enough. Let's go. So, let's take a little gander. Let's take a little gander at the pity.
Should be coming up any second now, chat.
Actually, let's get some different beats going. Let's get some different music going. I'm just feeling...
You'll be seeing my actual chat here within the next 2 minutes, at the most. I have no idea if this is actually something that's going to get me claimed, so I'm just going to stop that for now. I'll wait. He's not going to say anything that impressive. I promise you that. This is not some conspiracy theory.
Oh, this is too...
Okay, now he's saying that this is too dubstep. You can go back and look at that and see that that was what he said. I doubt he's playing anything that's copyrighted, but just to be safe.
Yeah, let's fall asleep to this.
Really, literally anytime. I
This
don't
song
want
is called Electric Rose. It's time! Let's see how lucky we get. We've used a little bit of pity. We did a couple.
Okay, this is my chat right here. This is right here.
By the time the banner left, we probably could on our count. We did a
my
couple
chat's
little
right here.
polls.
Sorry, I muted him instead of pausing it. This is my message here. This is sponsored, right?
All right, we could have got Yin Lin on our account by the time the banner left. We probably could have did it. This is sponsored. This is a sponsored stream.
There you go. So not only has Mtashed fully capitalized on the free-to-play god as a very successful content creator, he now has spent money. And from the start of this stream to the point in time where I asked him in chat, is this game sponsored? He did not disclose that, even though there's an ad at the bottom of the video there. Obviously, we can all see it. So therefore, technically, I think that complies with Twitch standards or legal standards. So I really can't admonish him any more than just me making it very clear that sometimes these sponsored streams are not as transparent, noticeable as they seem. And in doing so, the dopamine releases in the followers and people who watch him will, be likely triggered. They're going to be triggered whether it's sponsored or not. Let's be very clear. Gambling addicts have problems, okay? And people that are young have problems. And we can go back to this adolescent thing. Like, a lot of these very successful content creators have a decent audience that are underage, that are not even tracked by Twitch or YouTube, and some of them are susceptible to, actions that would be considered illegal or not allowed, and they'll get their parents to spend some way, somehow. This is how it usually works. But this is my first video on Mtashed. I don't know if there'll be more. Maybe there will be. My name is Bazookas. If you like this content, like, subscribe, and I'll let this video speak for itself, by the way. I don't need to say anything more.